the first thing we've got in the news this week is Google updates its new workspace icons. And there's been a lot of backlash from individuals in the UX space and the design space, pointing their guns at Google, saying that it's not very good. And I personally, if you have seen them, if you haven't seen them, then if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put the pictures up now on screen. But if you're watching this on Apple or Spotify, then just give it a little bit of a Google, and they'll pop up. But myself, I think they're in a position now where people understand what the workspace platforms they have are, where they can be a little bit more clever with their design.
Yeah, I mean, I see what they're trying to do, and I can see partly what you're saying, but I think they're too abstract. I mean, like when I got updates on my phone, it took me a while to find the calendar, because I just did not recognise it at all. It was just a square. I think they might have updated it slightly since then, because originally it was a square, and now it's got the number, the date number in it. Yeah. But the M for male, that's straightforward. The triangle, I can't even remember what the triangle does, but I never use that.
That's Google Drive, I think that one is. Or Google...
Oh, actually, yeah, I do use that.
Yeah, Google Drive. Yeah.
I haven't really taken much notice, and documents, I think. I mean, I think people are less technical. They probably won't get it. They'll probably just say, I don't know what these mean.
But I guess from my side, I always use Google products, so I'm familiar with what they are and what they do. I guess, yeah, you're probably right. For someone who isn't very familiar with Google products and their workspace platforms, they might not understand what each one of those are. And I do have a feeling that they've sort of gone down the same route that most brands go down. But I guess the biggest one that I can think of that have recently done that is like Virgin Media, where they got rid of the word Virgin Media and they just had the infinity sign.
Yeah.
And I think you can get away with that when you're really, really popular and everybody understands you, but there's still going to be a certain element of your customer base or potential new customers in the future that just don't understand it, or they don't recognize you.
I think with Virgin, that's more of a simplistic, more iconic symbol, while you're having lots of symbols using the same colours, but they may be slightly different order, and they've just updated. So I think I can see how it can slow people down in trying to read the icons. But with like Virgin, if you're just using the infinity kind of like swoosh,
yeah,
that's more iconic. That's just one icon, if you like, or one image.
Yeah, I guess as representing a brand rather than an icon that goes into a platform. But I guess in some ways they are icons for their individual suite of workspace platforms. So you could say they are some way a little bit similar.
You've got the Adobe suite, and they use different colours for each. They're kind of almost. I think the Adobe icons work better. They are certainly, like, if you're going to use them, if you're familiar with the Adobe suite, then you're going to be familiar with the icons. You're going to be familiar with like Illustrator, Photoshop, Experience Design, etc., etc. So I think that works better. Plus, also you do have the letters, so After Effects, AE, Illustrator, AI kind of thing. So you can, most designers will pick that up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and they look like. I think they look like a family as well. So I think what Google's trying to do like create a family. They've got like a lot of tools, and they want to make them into a family. But I think trying to have 4 colours and treat every icon in exactly the same way, just moving the colours around. I suppose when you're looking at your phone, for example, and you see all these icons and they all initially look the same, then you have to read them.
Yeah,
And I think that's what makes it difficult.
I think you're right about that one, because I use Photoshop quite a lot, and I never go into the applications folder within the Mac. I always do like a global search, and I'll always search for like PH, but I'm not looking at whether it says Photoshop. I'm just looking at the color and like the PH on the icon, and as soon as I see that, I click, and then I've had applications that have been on my computer that are very similar in terms of the way it looks. Yeah. And I clicked those by mistake before, and that's just because I'm just looking at that visual element.
Yeah, I think if they need to be different enough, but have elements that are similar, so they feel like a family. And I think Adobe, they do that quite well.
Yeah. No. Agree. So I guess your comments, your last comments on that, do you like them, or do you think they need to go back to the drawing board and redesign them?
I am going to say no. I don't like them.
Okay.
I get what they're trying to do, but I think that's first draft. They need to simplify it.
Yeah, and do you... I would love to know and how much testing they've done on these icons, whether they've just, thrown it at a designer and then internally gone, yeah, that's exactly what we want, or if they've gone out to their audience and their customer base and go, what do you think? I have a feeling with Google, they're a bit more of they do it internally, they throw it out, and then they just see what people's response is, and that's their way of testing in the real world.
I wonder how it would be interesting to see and hear from people who may have like elements of dyslexia or sometimes it's harder to see colours. Maybe they're colourblind or got some colour blindness, they find it difficult to read similar images and get their feedback and see. Do they struggle with it, or are they okay with it? I've seen a lot of... I've looked on LinkedIn, and I'm sure you have. A lot of people are slating the design, saying that it all looks the same and no one really understands it. I understand like what they're trying to do, but I think they need to look different from one another enough to know that they're an individual tool.
No, exactly. Yeah, they're trying to make it look like a Google product, which, I can understand from a brand perspective why they're doing that. But I think for me, I quite like them. I think they work personally, but that's the bigger picture. It may not work, but myself personally, looking at that, I quite like them.